What happens when celebrities are pushed too far? No warning, no filter, just raw, instant clapbacks that leave interviewers frozen. In these 10 unforgettable moments, stars didn't just respond. They obliterated the disrespect right on the spot. 10. Chelsea Handler's Piers Morgan, 2014. Sometimes interviews go off the rails instantly, and that's exactly what happened in March 2014 when Chelsea Handler appeared on Piers Morgan Live. During the interview, Piers Morgan casually glanced at his phone while Chelsea was talking. Live, on air, blatantly ignoring her, Chelsea didn't miss a beat. She called him out immediately, saying, "You can't even pay attention for 60 seconds. You're a terrible interviewer." Piers tried to defend himself by blaming her for not keeping his attention. But Chelsea wasn't letting him off easy. She firmly reminded him, "This is your show. You have to pay attention to the guests that you invited." The exchange became even more brutal when Chelsea sarcastically flipped the script, asking him, "If I gave you one moment to relive, what would it be?" Piers snapped back, saying, "Spending this hour differently." 9. Joan Rivers walks out on CNN, 2014. In July 2014, Joan Rivers made headlines for walking out of a CNN interview while promoting her book Diary of a Mad Diva. Known for her fearless humor, Joan wasn't about to take any criticism lightly. When the CNN host questioned whether Joan's comedy and fashion critiques were too mean, Joan shot back, "It's not mean. I tell the truth." But things escalated when the interviewer tried to pivot the conversation into animal rights, criticizing Joan for wearing fur. Joan wasn't having any of it. She flipped the table, saying, "Are you wearing leather shoes? Then shut up. I don't want to hear this nonsense." Joan ripped off her microphone, stormed out, and left the interviewer absolutely speechless. 8. Russell Brand School's Morning Joe hosts, 2013. In June 2013, Russell Brand appeared on MSNBC's Morning Joe and completely flipped the script on the hosts. Right from the start, the host seemed clueless about who he was, even mocking his British accent. One host joked, "On satellite radio in the car, I can't understand a single joke you say." Instead of laughing it off, Russell calmly took control. He started subtly calling out the host's lack of professionalism, pointing out their dismissive tone and awkward questions. "This is my first Brand experience," one host joked, to which Russell replied, "It's not listening to him, it's just sort of taking it on." Then Russell began directly addressing the camera, commenting on how poorly run the interview was. His sharp wit exposed how unprepared and disrespectful the hosts were, and by the end of the segment, Russell had fully taken control of the conversation, leaving the hosts visibly uncomfortable. 7. Jim Carrey's Red Carpet Roast, 2017. In September 2017, Jim Carrey delivered one of the most bizarre and brutally honest red carpet interviews ever at New York Fashion Week. When E! News reporter Kat Sadler asked him about the event, Jim responded with deadpan sarcasm, saying, "I wanted to find the most meaningless thing I could come to, and here I am." When Sadler tried to salvage the interview by explaining the event was celebrating icons, Jim dryly fired back, "Icons? Boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming possibility we could come up with." He completely dismissed the entire premise of the event as meaningless and shallow, turning what should have been a standard red carpet moment into a surreal takedown of celebrity culture. The reporter was left stunned and barely able to keep up. 6. Bill Burr's Fox Morning Show hosts, 2015. In April 2015, comedian Bill Burr appeared on Good Day New York to promote his animated series F is for Family. The interview started friendly, but quickly turned tense when one of the hosts brought up accusations that some of Bill's past jokes went too far. Without missing a beat, Bill flipped the script. Instead of backing down, he defended his comedy while subtly mocking the hosts for their manufactured outrage. When the host tried to steer the conversation toward religion, Bill sarcastically said, "I wanted to talk to you about Jesus after this," exposing the ridiculous direction of the interview. His calm, Cutting humor left the hosts awkwardly smiling, unable to challenge him. 5. Bill Burr's Tony Hinchcliffe, Kill Tony, 2022. Bill Burr also had a tense encounter during a Kill Tony podcast appearance with fellow comedian Tony Hinchcliffe. Initially, it seemed like a typical comedy segment, but Bill quickly realized the show's format was setting up amateur comics to fail for cheap laughs. As the hosts kept egging him on to mock inexperienced performers, Bill grew visibly uncomfortable. Finally, he put his foot down, saying, "Let's just put an end to this, shall we?" His comment exposed how these setups were less about humor and more about embarrassing vulnerable performers. Bill's firm response shifted the mood, and the usually rowdy panel grew quiet. 4. Jerry Seinfeld's legendary comeback, 2007. Back in 2007, Jerry Seinfeld sat down with Larry King to promote B-Movie when Larry made a shocking blunder. King asked, "So you gave it up, right? They didn't cancel you," suggesting Seinfeld had been canceled. Jerry's face instantly dropped. He looked at King in disbelief and shot back, "You think I got canceled? Do you know who I am? I was the #1 show on television, Larry." The awkward silence afterwards said it all. But that wasn't Jerry's only shutdown. In 2016, when another reporter tried to drag him into a race controversy over the lack of diversity on his show, Jerry calmly but firmly shut it down, refusing to be baited into a loaded debate. 3. Shane Gillis' Flagrant Podcast, 2022. In 2022, comedian Shane Gillis appeared on the Flagrant Podcast. What started as light banter quickly turned sour when the hosts made an insensitive joke referencing his family members with Down syndrome. Shane tried to brush it off at first, but as they kept pushing, he visibly grew uncomfortable. Finally, he calmly but firmly addressed it, saying, "For you guys to sit here and be like, 'Let's bring it up and mock them,' that's a dude move." His honest, composed response completely shifted the energy of the room. The hosts quickly realized they had crossed a line and backed off. 2. Tiffany Haddish destroys a reporter, 2022. At the 2022 Oscars afterparty, Tiffany Haddish was approached by a reporter who made a tone-deaf comment about her stunning Dolce & Gabbana gown, calling it a costume change. Tiffany shut it down immediately. "I'm not wearing a costume," she said. "I'm wearing Dolce & Gabbana. It's called an evening gown, darling. This is custom. Thank you." Her elegant but fierce response reminded everyone that women in Hollywood aren't props to be reduced to their outfits. They are artists and professionals who deserve respect. 1. Jennifer Lawrence owns the X-Men costume question, 2011. During a 2011 press interview for X-Men First Class, Jennifer Lawrence faced a reporter who tried to reduce her role to just wearing a revealing costume. He remarked, "You don't get to be in these films and not expect to have to put on these kinds of outfits." Jennifer shut him down instantly, replying, "That's why I get to be in these films, because I can wear these outfits and kick ass." With that sharp comeback, she made it clear her success was due to her talent and strength, not her looks. The moment went viral, highlighting how actresses face sexist questions and how powerfully they can respond. Which moment was your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed these epic shutdowns, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a new video.